Hey Guru Nation, welcome back to the clinicaltrialsguru.com. Just got back from the East Coast, visited with family, did some biz dev, did some vlogging, so make sure you check that out if you missed it. Good times, learned lots, got to accomplish a lot of things, got to have some fun, so it's good. So I keep getting these questions. I still check my emails even when I go out on trips and when I go on vacation. I'm always on the emails, Instagram, Snapchat. People reach out to me and they ask me, I'm noticing themes, so I wanted to do a video on how to level up in clinical research. What does leveling up mean? Well, it's sort of like finding an entry-level position to eventually gain something else, something higher up, and keep leveling up. So the most common one is people want to be CRAs. The problem with being a CRA is, unless you get very lucky, and it does happen, you will not get hired as a CRA without some prior experience. It does happen every now and then, but for the most part that's not the way it works. So how do you level up to become a CRA if CRA is the goal? And by the way, once you're a CRA you want to level up more, but we'll get into that if we have time a little bit later in this video. So how do you get to be a CRA? Well, study coordinator is the best way to do it. Now keep in mind, if you don't have a bachelor's degree, you probably can't be a CRA, and I know I'm going to get a lot of comments, a lot of hate mail. It does happen, but it's not common for someone without a bachelor's degree to become a CRA. Okay? I'm just putting that out there. Anything's possible, but it's not common. So the best way is to be a study coordinator and level up to be a CRA. Now the problem is, sometimes you won't even get hired as a study coordinator without prior experience. So then what do you do then? How do you level up to be a study coordinator? So research assistant's one way. A lot of medical assistants that get hired by physicians to do vital signs and draw blood and ECGs and all that stuff, they're MAs. Well, a lot of them, if the doctor has a clinical trial company associated to the private practice, end up promoting these research assistants to become study coordinators, right? Another one is data entry. You can be hired by a research clinic or by a university or by a hospital to do data entry for their research. So that's one way to level up to become a study coordinator, and even one level beneath that is a patient recruiter. So I've actually written a big article on this topic. I think this is the quickest way. Anyone without any experience, you're going to have to put in some work, obviously, because it's not easy to recruit patients. There's a reason why 90% of trials are delayed because of slow enrollment, all right? Because patient recruitment's hard, but if you can pull it off, you're going to have to go network with a lot of doctors, educate them on research, educate yourself on research, then convince them to refer patients to you so that you can send them to different clinical research companies in your area. That's a patient recruiter, and you can get a 1099 independent contractor freelance position. And after a while of doing that, if you do good, you can let them know, hey, I want to be a study coordinator, right? And then if you have a bachelor's degree, after 2 years of being a study coordinator, you can start applying to CROs to be a CRA. So that's how to level up from that perspective, how to be a CRA. Now, how do you level up if you want to be a PI? Okay? Let's say you have a license, you're an MD, you're a DO, chiropractor. Yes, I've heard people without medical licenses that are PIs, but again, just like the CRA without a bachelor's, it's not the norm. Does it happen? Yes. Do some institutions allow it? Yes. Is it common? No. Okay? But let's say you have an MD or a DO or an equivalent. Okay? How do you become a PI? Well, the level beneath the PI is a sub-I. So you can, if you're a doctor and you have colleagues that do research, ask them to be involved with them as a sub-investigator on their studies. Right? If you keep asking and you have something of value to give them, hopefully patients, or you can do some of the assessments for the study, they'll gladly take you on. Okay? Research sites need sub-Is all the time. PIs go out of town, they go on vacation, they get sick. You need backups. That's the sub-I. Now, how do you level up to be a sub-I? Let's say you want to bypass the sub-I. Okay? Let's say you're just a doctor with a private practice and you don't have time to be a sub-I, you want to go straight to the PI. Can you level up? Yes. The best way is phase 4 studies. So go on clinicaltrials.gov, look up phase 4 studies or post-approved treatments, and look at the ones that are not yet recruiting or recruiting, and apply. You'll get your studies that way. Usually phase 4 studies, the sponsors don't care about prior research experience because what they really want is your patients and the data, because they're not looking, the protocols are not complex, so they're not worried about you screwing things up. The FDA is not really going to look at this data for the most part, so they just want numbers, they want volume, they want your patients. So if you get enough phase 4 studies, you can eventually apply for a phase 3 study, okay? And then when you apply for that phase 3 study, the sponsor's going to ask you, do you have prior experience in clinical research? You can say yes. All right, now, last one. How do you level up to become a site owner? Remember in the beginning of the video I said CRAs. Once you become a CRA, you may find that you want to level up some more. And usually that leveling up could be project manager, a lead CRA, clinical trial lead, or many times you're just like, you know what, screw this, I don't like working for other people, I've been doing it for over a decade, I want to open my own site, because I go to all these sites and I see that what they're doing is not that complicated, I know I can do it, or I think I could do it. A lot of my clients are in this boat, veteran CRAs that have had enough and want to start their own sites. So that's one way to level up, but you see, to get to this point, you got to go through this process, right? Same thing with the PI or a sub-I or an MD. They can level up to be site owners as well. Just because you're a PI does not mean you're a site owner. You could be a PI for a hospital, you could be a PI for a CRO or a larger group or an SMO. All right, how do you become a site owner? These are ways to do it. By the way, study coordinator, let's say you don't have a bachelor's degree. Let's say you can't be a CRA, but you want to level up some more. Many times these study coordinators level up to be site owners, okay? Now, finally, CRO, the very ambitious, okay? We just started our CRO last year. We have a couple clients, but it's nothing yet. We want to grow a lot of market share. Right now, we're starting with what we can get for the CRO, Contract Research Organization. How do you level up to this? Some people think that they can just start a CRO without having any prior experience in research and outsource everything. Is it possible? Yes, anything's possible. Is it common? No. So what is the stepping stone to get to be a CRO? It's typically the easiest way, the way that I followed, is the level up from an SMO, which is a site management organization. You can level up from an SMO to become a CRO. Now, how do you level up to be an SMO? Is a site owner. Okay, so everything's connected. Okay, there's leveling up. There's so many different opportunities in this industry. So site owner, you can build a really big site. You can have a bunch of small ones like we do. I used to have a really big site. Now we have a bunch of small ones. You can then evolve into an SMO. And if you're really ambitious, the SMO, you can make a fairly easy transition into a CRO because you can tell sponsors that you have influence over the sites, which is what the sponsors care for, because they don't want the PIs screwing up and they want the sites enrolling subjects. So influence matters. So yes, anything's possible. You can level up. There's a lot of opportunities here. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.